Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another great video. Let's talk about trading and starting over. If you had the chance to really do it all over again, okay, and save yourself from all the nuances and all the possibly the money you may have lost, what would you tell yourself? What would you actually do if you had to do it all over again? Stay tuned to the video. Watch the intro and we're going to jump right into it. All right, so what most people who start off trading struggle with, I always talk about this, market structure. They can't read the market. They don't know how to, okay? Why? Because most of us think that trading is just all about looking for opportunities. Okay, the market is trending to the upside. I'm just going to chase it. And the moment I see price starting to, form these large green candles and it looks like it's pushing hard to the upside, I'm going to jump in that trade. Or the reverse, if the market's just moving to the downside, the moment it starts, showing those big bearish candles, I'm going to jump into a trade. Trading is about a whole lot more than just that, okay? It is there's an art to it. There's no science to trading, okay? Most people think that they have, or if they have some particular indicator, it's going to give them the telltale sign to when to get in and when to get out. Please do yourself a favor right now. Stop. If you're trading with indicators, stop. I'm not going to tell you to stop trading with indicators, but I'm going to tell you to stop following signals behind indicators because they lag, okay? If you want to make money the right way, trade understanding market structure. Market structure is simply being able to read what's going on overall in the market, okay? Meaning you're able to get the inside scoop behind the closed doors, behind the sheet, pull it back and see what the institutions are really doing, all right? And then following suit, following, price action, all right? The movement of the market as it's moving, okay? All right, meaning up and down, trending, moving sideways, the whole, just the whole thing, okay? All right, so the way I trade, I'm going to talk about this, okay, is simply using a strategy surrounding supply and demand, okay? So if I had to start all over again, all right, I wouldn't waste my time, sitting here trying to spend hours upon hours scouring the internet, trying to look for certain strategies that, ultimately in the end, just didn't work for me, okay? All right? If you trade support and resistance, that's one particular style of trading that some people trade. I don't trade it. I don't use trend lines. I don't follow certain indicators and allow them to tell me which way to trade. I trade specifically what seems to be the most powerful thing to me, all right? Supply and demand, okay? All right? And every once in a while, I'll see some liquidity grabs set up, okay? But typically it happens, where there's a supply or demand zone at and price has kind of grabbed liquidity at the highs and lows, okay? And then turns back around. But this video is more so about focusing on the possibilities of taking trade setups on supply and demand. And I just want to show you basically one or two examples of today of what I'm talking about. So if I had to do it all over again, okay, and someone wants to point me in the right direction, all right, if I had to start all over again, okay, when it comes to trading and learning, I would definitely hold tight to supply and demand. It is the most powerful thing that I've come across, all right? Now, I'm not knocking, again, anyone's particular strategy and how they trade, but to me, it just makes ultimately the most sense, okay? Understand that. But before I jump right into this discussion and break things down, let me know. Leave a comment down below if you could start, your whole trading career all over again, okay? And maybe you're in the process of learning. What are some things that you wish you would have learned from the beginning? What are some things that you would actually like to have known? And possibly, what are some things that you would change, okay? All right, honestly, because I know most of us get into this business of, and just hoping. The fact is that we're going to learn quick enough and start making some money, okay? But we know that, it takes time. Lots of practice, okay? Before we can get to where we want to be at. So what are the things that you would have changed when you first started trading from the beginning, all right? So what I'm showing you right now, okay, is a chart of the NASDAQ 100. This is a higher time frame chart for me. I look at this chart ultimately to kind of help me gauge which way to actually trade, up or down, pretty much, because the market can only primarily do two things, 98% of the time or 95% of the time, trending up or trending down, and then, we'll get that sideways movement from time to time, typically during a major news week, okay? Like this week here, we got a lot unfolding. Yesterday, FOMC, Friday's non-farm payrolls, NFP. A lot of people will stay away from this week when trading, okay? Okay, so what we have here, again, is the higher time frame chart for me, all right? What I noticed, say, for instance, into today's session, okay, just strictly focusing today's trading activity, okay? I'm looking at market structure, all right? What I see here is a breaker structure here below let's say 913, okay? 913. I'm not talking about the time. I'm talking about the 14,913 price area, okay, or level, all right? Price break structure here. So when I see a breaker structure taking place, my mind shifts to start doing what? Looking for shorts, right? But I also must be, pay close attention to, because the market can turn right back around and start breaking structure to the upside. Now this is on a higher time frame, and the higher time frame has broke structure below. So I would be looking for opportunities to go short, right? But I talked about this before. I just don't jump into a trade on a pullback off a higher time frame, say for one. I never trade just strictly from the higher time frame. I'm only using it to mark my zones, okay? But what I'm primarily looking for is a pullback, okay, and then an opportunity to make a lower low. So we made a low here, lower high, and then a lower low here, okay? Once it makes that final lower low, say for instance on a higher time frame, I'm interested, definitely. So we're looking for shorts now, okay? Now does that mean I just eliminate the fact that it broke structure here and that there's a pullback to this key area right here where this is an area of, of demand? I'm not sorry, guys, not demand, supply, okay? No, I will not, okay? Because ultimately the market did pull back to this area right here, rejected it, and pushed lower to break structure back down below. So I'm mindful on that too. But when I see setups like this right here, I ultimately like to see them make clean breaks, meaning basically where I don't have a push down, a pullback, and then a break, that break structure here, okay? I like to see them flush with loads of red candles to the downside, pull back to the supply area here, and then I'm interested in going short. But when I see activity where prices made a low, lower high, and lower low, this is internal structure that aided in the break of this structure here. So price breaks back above it, I got to be very mindful of what's going on here, because it could just pull back and break higher, okay? Meaning that we're going to break structure back to the upside, okay? So when I see something like this in between where I have a low and a lower high that forms to break structure to the downside, in this example here, I'm very, very mindful, okay? I'm giving you a little bit of a class, okay, when it comes to market structure as well, okay? Because that's what market structure is all about. Understand that, okay? So when I see something like this, I'm waiting for the lower low, okay? The lower low meaning a break below this low here at 903.5, which means I have a breaker structure below that area. Then I would be interested in looking for short positions on pullbacks to key areas of supply, like this area right here. You see that? Okay. So pay close attention, because supply and demand is powerful stuff, guys, okay? It kind of lets you know the activity of what's going on behind the scene, behind the curtains. Tons of orders being filled, like right here. Boom, all that selling right there. Did you take those trades? Did you, was it your money that was injected into the market that actually caused all this selling right here? No. We as daily retail traders, we're like small ants in the turf, okay? We're like, small fish in the big pond or the ocean, okay? So listen to what I'm trying to say is, it's the institutions that ultimately are the driving force behind the wheel, okay? And we do not want to get railroaded, by them, or have a head-on collision with them. Save yourself the headache and trade in the direction of the higher time frame is what I'm talking about. All right. So when I saw this overall breaker structure to the downside after breaking this low, so we made a low, lower high, lower low. Guys, I'm interested in doing what? You should know this by now for those that have been following the channel. I'm looking for short opportunities because market structure is telling me I should be. Okay. The structure of the market. Now, I could have taken a pullback here. Let's see. But I'm not trading off the higher time frame chart. Get that, okay? Just mark your zones. That's the way I trade, using a higher time frame. Now, this is aggressive selling, supply zone. Price pulls back to that area, right? When it pulls back to that area, look, the strategy and how I trade is so simple. All you want to do at this point is move down to your lower time frame chart, whatever that may be. For me, I'm using the 12 range chart, okay? Some people in the Discord community that are part of the community may use the 15 range chart. Whatever works for you, okay? Then use those charts, and use them to your advantage, okay? So the market pulls back to the supply zone. Let's move down now to the lower time frame chart, my 12 range, so I can show you the setup that I actually took going short, okay? Going short, all right? So let's move down. Now, what you see here, that red zone right there, this is the 12 range chart now. That is the 60 range supply zone, okay? All right? So now I'm just looking for opportunity to take a short entry, but I want to see a break, where the market is continuing breaking structure to the downside, okay? And looking for a setup, all right? Basically a supply setup now on my 12 range chart, because the higher time frame market structure is showing me on the higher time frame chart that I need to be going short. So now I'm using my lower time frame to look for the same type of just the same type of setup, basically, okay? All right, a break of structure below, pull back to supply, now on the lower time frame to go short. All right, so price taps into the zone, it starts to break structure below. We ultimately get a major break of structure right here when we break below 900, okay? 900 is a round number, okay? So use that to your advantage as well, because when price pulls back to half numbers, round numbers, it's going to more likely, once it breaks structure and it pulls back to those areas, you're probably going to see where it wants to continue to the downside. So if it broke through, like, say, 900 here, all right, and there's a demand zone there, and it pulls back to that area, which could now be supply, all right? If we got a supply zone set up on the lower time frame, more likely it's going to reject. I'm not saying all times, because you got to pay close attention to the rejection, the price action, to see what's taking place back at the zone. Okay, so we got price making lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame. It breaks through 900, okay? It breaks through that area. This right here, okay, this right here, this breaker structure to the downside, where we got a low, a lower high, and then a low right here. This swing here aided in the breaker structure below what? 900. Look what happens. Aggressive selling to the downside. This is a supply zone right here. I'm marking that zone on my 12 range chart now. I got a supply setup that told me, based on market structure on the higher time frame, that I should be looking for shorts. I scale down, look for a supply zone setup where I see breaker structures folding or happening on my lower time frame. I'm looking for a setup. Okay. Now, could I possibly take in a short entry maybe sooner? Well, to me, and how I'm looking at market structure on the lower time frame, it's making these higher highs and higher lows. It breaks structure right here, and really the first break of structure to the downside after tapping into that higher time frame supply zone on the 60 range chart really didn't occur until right around this area here. So I would rather just wait until we get the full on break lower, okay? Which means price made a lower, well, it did make a lower high here, and then it broke this low right here. So then I'm really interested, because we are showing market structure direction to the downside off the higher time frame and the lower time frame, and this being a pullback, a swing to 80 in the breaker structure, clean sweep to the downside, pull back to supply. Once it taps into the lower time frame supply zone there, guess what? I'm just looking for the break of the candle in the opposite direction to do what? Take it back down to the lows. So that's why I have this box marked up here, okay? Marked up here on the lower time frame, and I look to take it back down to the low right there. So you get in here at 906 and take out down here at the bottom at 85, okay? Nice, beautiful trade setup that you can pick up 20 points. Very easy right there. Very, very easy. Again, this is all trading supply and demand, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, if I had to do it all over again and didn't know anything about supply and demand, okay, and I was kind of researching, yeah, you wouldn't know when you first started off really what supply and demand was all about. But when I start weighing my options and looking at different strategies, supply and demand were really stuck out to me, because it makes sense. The aggressive buying, the aggressive selling, you got to think to yourself, what's really going on there, okay? If you trade supply and demand right now, okay, and this is, or is part of your actual trading strategy, please leave a comment down below. I'd like to know how many of you out there right now actually trade supply and demand, okay? Or are possibly even interested in trading supply and demand. It's something you've been researching lately and studying, because maybe you're new to trading and you want to start trading. So leave a comment down below, leave a thumbs up, say, yep, supply and demand is my style of trading. I'd like to hear from you guys, okay? So please leave a comment, all right? As well, if you're not a current subscriber right now, what are you waiting for, guys, okay? I'm giving out loads of valuable information that that is helping people in the daily. I truly believe so. I mean, if you come over to our Discord community, you can find the link down in the description portion of the video and ask away. I mean, there are people who are, I feel that are learning, really learning, and I'll allow them to speak to themselves. But there are people in the Discord community, you know, loads of them that are seeing the light through the end of the tunnel. Some of them have actually turned their whole trading career around and are doing well. You know, not to toot myself or to toot my horn or anything like that, but you know, they have incorporated or started to understand more so about supply and demand and are doing well themselves. Okay, I truly believe that. But I'm just here to share with you the way I actually trade, my experience, you know, as a trader coming along, and you know what I found out that actually worked for me. And I share my trading strategy. You know, I don't charge anyone for it or anything. I share it here on the channel. I have tons of videos here on this channel. So what are you waiting for? Smack that subscribe button now. Hit that sub button. Make sure to turn on all your post notifications so you never miss one of the uploads. And also, drop a like. Drop a like. Again, if you're interested in joining the Discord, find the link down in the description portion of the video. Okay, so what's going on now? Okay, well, I'm back to my higher time frame chart. The market's running lower, right? Okay, it did. It tapped into that higher time frame supply. We saw a supply set up on the lower time frame, and it ran lower. Then it turns back around. What is it doing now? It's making higher highs and higher lows to the upside, right? It breaks structure right here above 32, 33 area, right? When it breaks structure to the upside, okay, we probably want to start shifting our mindset to maybe doing what? To look for long positions. Then ultimately, what does it do? It runs to the upside. Major breaker structure. It takes out, which I believe is the high for today. Yep. It took out the high, the previous high for today. The high is over here now. But it took out above 53, 54 area on the move to the upside here. So then all we do is use our higher time frame again to mark our, now we're looking for demand zones because we're breaking structure to the upside. Major breaker structure to the upside, taking out the high. Demand zone right here. There's a gap at the zone. If you do not understand what I'm talking about when I talk about gaps, please watch some of the videos, guys. I'm not just going to just throw it out there every single time. Please spend time watching the videos on the channel. I'm not going to say I promise you, but I trust that you will find out what I'm talking about very easily, okay? I have nothing to hide. I'm sharing with you the way I trade, all right? But anyways, breaker structure to the upside, okay? Aggressive buying right here. What is that? That's demand, okay? Market pulls back to that zone. It took a while. It chopped around. Pulls back to the demand zone on the higher time frame. And then again, we move down to our lower time frame to do what? To look for an opportunity to go long. Meaning we're looking for a demand setup. Now that we tap into the higher time frame demand, we're looking for a demand setup on the lower time frame. Let's move over, okay? Taps into the zone there. The higher time frame zone, which is this right here, okay? Now I'm looking for a demand setup on my lower time frame. Okay, pulls back, taps into the zone. That's what that zone is here. That green box, the bigger green box. All right, moves higher, higher lows, higher highs. Break structure right here. I'm looking for a pullback now to do what? To go long. Once it taps, so once it breaks structure now to the upside on the lower time frame, I go ahead and mark a demand zone on my lower time frame. Okay, higher time frame demand zone, lower time frame demand zone. Pulls back to the zone. Okay. Get the projection, go long. Rejection, break of the candle, close of the candle in the opposite direction, go long. Now, what took place here is the market went up, right? You say you got into the trade. It comes back. A lot of people get shaken out here and they get spooked out because what happened here was the market was coming back down to stop traders out, okay? There's tactics or techniques they use to actually scare people out of the market. And all this was a liquidity grab, all right? Price pushed up. We had a low here, okay? Let's say you got into the trade right here. It went up, boom, now we got similar lows here. They come back and they want to take, what they do is they come back, they grab that area of liquidity, and then the market runs to the upside. That's all it was. A liquidity setup back at an area of demand. Simple as that. So sometimes they will do stuff like this. It doesn't happen all the time, but this was an opportunity for them. When I speak of them, I'm talking about the institutions, for them to grab liquidity at the back end right here, and then the market rise back up to the upside. And if you take a look at it, I mean, it rolled back to the upside. It did come back after it pushed higher here to tap back into that higher time frame demand zone again. We were still in that higher time frame demand zone, so maybe it was an opportunity for a second test. But then again, what you want to do is wait for another structure break to get into, a trade. Now, let's say you're already in the trade. I would have already been in the trade, and I talk about this because people always ask, well, what do you put your stop loss at? Well, you got to, you can put it at the back end of a key area of demand. This would be the demand zone here. It may have stopped you out if you put your stop tick to tick or a few ticks right here at the back end of this demand zone here at 27. The market runs down to what, 26. So 4 ticks is really not going to be enough, guys. You got to kind of give yourself some room when we switch down to the lower time frames, because it could, especially on the 12 range chart, it could stop you out. And this is an area of liquidity right here. So when you see something like this set up right here, it comes back. Yep, it's in a demand zone, the lower time frame. Then you get the trade. You're in the trade. It starts going your direction. It comes back. If you got your stop loss right there at 27, they got you, okay? And all they did was run it back down to 26, 4 ticks, and it turns back around and goes in your intended direction. So give your stop loss a little room to breathe, is all I'm trying to say. But that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I just wanted to really dive deep and talk about, some setups that took place today. But to really let you know that if I could start all over again, supply and demand would be the ultimate way and the only way in which I would be trading. And that's the reason why I do it today. That's it. So leave a comment down below, like I mentioned earlier in the video. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know, as well as other traders, what would you do differently if you could start all over again? All right. And how many, or you can also just leave a comment and say, yeah, I trade supply and demand. I'd like to hear from the individuals as well. But if you had to do it all over again, okay, and start from scratch, what would you actually do? Okay. What strategy would you use? All right. Simply leave a comment down below. All right, guys, I'm jumping off here. I'll see everyone in the next video. Hopefully those that are trading today, especially those that are part of the Discord community, hopefully you guys had a successful day. I haven't seen too much action or too many trades posted on the Discord community. That's what we do on the Discord. There's a channel titled Trading Floor, and that's where we as traders come together and we post screenshots and our trades we take. And it helps other individual traders out there as well, because they can kind of ask questions. Hey, why did you take that trade? What were you looking at? Okay. But for me, I trade supply and demand. So I posted, I posted one trade today I took that it's a beautiful trade setup I took. It was a long, captured 14 points off that trade there on the NASDAQ 100, okay? I was waiting for the ES futures to really pull back to a key area to jump into a trade, but it never really tapped into a major demand zone off the higher time frame. But that's all I have to share with you guys in today's video. Again, please drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.